Under the Rule 6 of Oraohra, the effectivity of an appointment is on the date it was signed by appointing authority. Appointment on Saturday, Sunday, and holidays is prohibited except it was done through special laws. Moreover, no official or employee shall be required to assume the duties and responsibilities of the position without being furnished with a copy by his or her appointment by HRMO after signed by the appointing authority. According to Section 19, Paragraph 1 of the Rule 6 of Oraohra, within the 30 calendar days from the date of the issuance, the appointment should be submitted to the Civil Service Commission. If the submission is delayed, it is not be taken against the appointee. If the appointment is not recognized by the Civil Service Commission, an official or someone cannot assume the duties and responsibilities of any position. The person who made that person to assume the position shall be liable of the salary and other benefits of that employee. The Rule 7 of Oraohra states the governing policy on the posting or publication of vacant positions in the government. The vacant positions for career civil service shall be published and posted within 3 conspicuous places for a period of at least 10 calendar days for national, and for local is not less than 15 calendar days. According to the Section 25 of the Rule 7 of Oraohra, all agencies shall submit a list of their vacant positions authorized to be filled and their corresponding qualifications. Government agencies can also publish vacant positions in the agency website, newspapers, and other job search websites. There are also positions information that are not intended for public viewing and should not be found in the publication of vacant jobs. For example, if the job is primary confidential or policy determining or highly technical or coterminous with the appointing authority. Another one is the reappointment or change of status to a permanent of those appointment on temporary status for category 2 positions. Another one is reappointment of the appointments on temporary status for medical officer or specialist positions. And the last one is those positions to be filled by existing civil service employee because of reorganization or rationalization. According to the Section 31 of Oraohra Rule 8, the qualification standards refers to the minimum and basic requirements for positions in the government in terms of education, training, experience, civil service eligibility, physical fitness, and other qualities required for successful performance of the duties of the position. The qualification standards also serves as the basic guide in the selection of the employees and in the evaluation of appointments to all positions in the government. The following are the basic or essential components of a qualification standards. First is the specific job-related work experience. Second is education. Third is medical or physical standards. Fourth is training. Next is eligibility. Next is security and licensure. Qualification standards are important because these minimum requirements helps the appointing authority to foresee if the candidate can perform the vacant job successfully and safely. It also in line with the competency-based recruitment policy of the government. In the Rule 9 of the Oraohra, we will be talking about the MSP of the government or the Merit Selection Plan of the government. So what is a Merit Selection Plan? Merit Selection Plan is a systematic method of selecting employees on the basis of their qualifications, fitness, and ability to perform the duties and assume the responsibilities of the position being filled. According to the Section 83 of Oraohra, Agency Merit Selection Plan or MSP shall cover the position in the first and second level and shall also include original appointments and other related human resource actions. The Merit Selection Plan promotes no discrimination in the selection of employees. The age, sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity, the civil status, disability, religion, ethnicity, or political affiliation shall not be a hindrance for a person to be employed if he or she is qualified for the job. It is stated in the Section 83, Paragraph 2. There are also human resource merit promotion and selection boards, and the following are their allowable actions. First, there can be 2 human resource merit promotion and selection boards from each agency. One for first and second level positions and another for second level, executive, or managerial positions. Next is an agency may establish HRMPSB for specialized and highly technical positions. Also, an agency may establish different sets of human resource merit promotion and selection boards for its own purpose. Now, what are the mandates of the human resource merit promotion and selection boards? First, the board assists the appointing authority or officer in the judicious and objective selection of candidates for appointment in the agency in accordance with the approved agency merit selection plan. Second, the report of the board's assessment of candidates will guide the appointing officer or authority. The last one, the board shall maintain fairness and impartiality in the assessment of candidates for appointment. In Rule 10 of Oraohra, we'll be discussing about separation. For some reasons, an employee will decide to resign in an organization or company. Resignation refers to an act of an official or employee by which he or she voluntarily relinquishes in writing his or her position effective on a specific date which shall not be less than 30 days from the date of such notice or earlier as mutually agreed upon the employee and the appointing officer. Others are also dismissed from their position due to grievous offenses. Dismissal means the termination from employment or service for cause. Employees who faces either of these 2 situations will undergo separation process. The following are the different modes of separation. First is the dropping from the rules. What is dropping from the rules? For example, an employee or official who is given 2 consecutive unsatisfactory ratings may be dropped from the rules after due notice. The next one is the termination or expiration of temporary. If an employee is proven breaking company rules or doing criminal behavior, he or she can be terminated. Also, the end of a fixed term contract will be normally a fair dismissal if the reason the contract needed to be fixed was genuine. Another mode for separation is the coterminus. For example, if the position of an official or employee is coterminus of a project, if the project is already done, his or her position will also cease. The next one is the contractual appointments. An employee will be terminated as a result of expiration of their contract. The next one is the retirement. If an official or employee reach the retirement age, that employee's last day of work is often the termination or separation date. Employees retire when they reach a certain age, often when they reach at the age of 65. And the last one is death, termination due to death of an employee. The Rule 11 of Oraohra states the grounds for disapproval of civil service appointments. Of course, if a person does not meet the qualification standards for the position, he or she will be disapproved for that position. Also, if an appointee is dismissed for grievous acts or has been found guilty of a crime, his or her appointment will be disapproved unless clemency has been granted. It is also ground for the disapproval of the appointee's appointment if he or she has intentionally made false statements of any material fact or attempted to practice any deception or fraud in connection with his or her appointment. If the appointment has been issued in violation of the existing civil service law, it shall be disapproved. There are also grounds for recall of appointments. Under Section 116, the approval of appointment may be recalled by the Civil Service Commission on any of the following grounds. First, non-compliance with procedures or criteria provided in CSC approved agency merit selection plan. Second is failure to pass through the agency's HRM PSB. The third one, violating the existing civil service law, rules and regulations. The Rule 12 of Oraohra states the prohibitions in appointing a civil service employee or officials. The following are the prohibitions. First, no appointive officials holding multiple government unless allowed by law or by the primary functions of his position. Second, no elective official shall be eligible for appointment in any capacity to any public office or position during his tenure. Third, no elective and appointive public officer or employee shall receive additional double compensation or indirect compensation unless allowed by law. Fourth, a person who lost an election except barangay election shall not be eligible for appointment or re-employment to any office in the government or government-owned corporations within 1 year following such elections. The next one is a person holding an appointive office or position, including active members of the armed forces, shall be considered ipso facto resigned from his or her office upon filing of the certificate of candidacy. The next one, 6-month ban on re-employment for the employee who resigned during the 3-month period before any election. Another one is ban on detail or reassignment within 3 months before any election except with permission or authority from the COMELEC. Another prohibition is ban for engaging directly or indirectly in partisan political activity. First, to promote the candidacy of another or to promote the defeat of a candidate. The next one is no engaging directly or indirectly in partisan political activity or take part in any election. But there are exceptions. For example, if you are to vote or to express views on current political problems or issues, or to mention names of candidates for public office whom he supports. Another prohibition in appointing a civil service employee or official is no nepotic appointments, meaning appointment of relative in the national and local government, SUC, GOCCs with original charter any branch of the government. For national government, the prohibition is up to third degree of consanguinity, meaning relationship by blood, or affinity, meaning relationship by marriage. When it comes to the local government, the prohibition is up to fourth civil degree of consanguinity or affinity. Another prohibition in appointing a civil service employee or officials is appointing officer shall not revoke or withdraw an appointment that is already accepted by the appointee. The next one is no dismissed employee shall be re-employed in the government unless clemency has been granted. The next one is promotion within 6 months prior to retirement is prohibited. Also, if a person is already 65 years old, he or she cannot be appointed in the civil service. The next one, heads of oversight agency and their staff cannot be transferred to any positions. The next one is non-career employees cannot perform the duties of career employees. Also, no consultant, contractual, non-career or detailed employee shall be designated to a position exercising control or supervision. Also, another prohibition is institutional or individual contract of service employees shall not be designated to duties pertaining to a regular position or exercise control or supervision over regular employees. Also, no discrimination shall be exercised, threatened, or promised against or favor to a person because of his or her political or religious opinions or affiliation, sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity, civil status, age, disability, or ethnicity. Another prohibition is no changes in designation or nomenclature of position resulting to promotion or demotion in rank, increase and decrease of compensation. Another one is no officer or employee shall be engaged in any private business or practice of possession. The next one is a person with dual citizenship shall not be appointed in the government unless he or she renounces his or her foreign citizenship. The last one, civil service position cannot be exercised by or extended to those who are candidates for or are occupying any public office in the country of which they are naturalized citizens or and are active service as commissioned or non-commissioned officer in the armed forces of the country of which they are naturalized citizens. The Rule 13. The Rule 13 of Oraohra states who is a human resource officer and his or her mandates and function. The human resource officer is a HR professional responsible for providing support in the various human resources and functions, which include recruitment, staffing, training and development, performance monitoring, and employee counseling. There are minimum and basic qualifications for HR officer. For example, education, training, experience, civil service eligibility, physical fitness, and other qualities required for successful performance of the duties of the position. According to the Rule 13 of Oraohra, the HR manager is the one who submits to the Civil Service Commission field office concerned within first quarter of the year the agency's updated personal service itemization plantilla personnel. The HR managers also submit the list of vacant position authorized to be filled and their corresponding qualification, standards, and plantilla item numbers using the prescribed form or the CS Form Number 9 revised to 2018 in electronic and printed copies to the CSC FO. The HR managers also request authentication from the Civil Service Commission or authorized agency of the original copy of Certificate of Eligibility, licenses, report of rating of selected candidates prior to issuance of original appointment, promotion, transfer, reappointment, and reemployment. They review the veracity, authenticity, and completeness of all requirements. The HR officers shall ensure that personal data sheet or PDS of the appointee is updated and accomplished properly and completely, and sign the certification as complete and authentic. HR managers also ensures that the vacant position is already published. HR managers also ensure that the chairman of the HRM-PSB or the placement committee has signed of the appointment whenever applicable. He or she also ensure the appointment for the department head position in the local government unit. The HR officer shall ensure that the appointee furnish a photocopy of his or her appointment. He or she shall submit supporting documents for an appointment. Also, transmit to the appointee the original copy of his or her appointment acted upon by the Civil Service Commission. The HR officer shall post in 3 conspicuous places announcing the appointment of an employee a day after the issuance of the appointment, at least with 15 calendar days. The HR officer also ensures the oath taking of new employees. And then, the HR officer will submit a copy of certification of assumption to duty and certificate of an oath of office with 30 days. HR officer also conducts orientation and workshop of the members of HRM PSB. Orientation of officials and employees shall be properly conducted by HR officer. Also, the HR officer should ensure the establishment and maintenance of the agency human resource management database. The establishment, maintenance, and disposal of agency's employees' files pursuant to the guidelines of the CSC should be also overseen by the HR officer according to Section 139P. Also, the renewal of professional licenses of the appointees to positions involving practice of profession regulated by bar or board law should also ensure by the HR officer. And lastly, an HR officer shall perform all other functions as may provided by law. The failure of a HR officer to follow such rules and regulations stated in this law or in this rule will subject him or her to administrative disciplinary action for neglect of duty. And that's according to Section 140 of the Rule 13 of Oraohra.